Have you ever wondered where the practice of chanting the Buddha's name truly began? Has it ever struck you as strange that such a simple act, repeating a name over and over, could possibly lead to enlightenment? Could something so repetitive, so seemingly mechanical, really unlock the gates of liberation? Welcome back to the channel. I'm deeply honored to have you here with me today, as we uncover one of the most overlooked yet profound truths in the world of spiritual practice. Today, we're going far back to explore the origins of chanting the Buddha's name. And we're doing it through the insights of one of the most respected figures in Buddhist history, Master Lianchi, also known as Lotus Pond Master. What you're about to discover is that chanting the Buddha's name is not a blind ritual. It's not an act of superstition. It's not a tool for escape or avoidance. It is, in fact, one of the most powerful methods for awakening the mind, purifying the heart, and returning to your true nature. Let's start with a question that many people secretly ask but rarely speak aloud. Why would simply repeating a name like Chmithuba Buddhas have any real impact? Isn't that just vocal repetition? What does that have to do with awakening? It's a fair question. And to answer it, we need to shift our understanding of what chanting really is. You see, chanting is not about the sound itself. It's about the mind behind the sound. It's about the consciousness you bring to it. It's about what happens within you as the words dissolve the boundaries between thought, identity, and form. When you chant, especially with devotion and presence, you are not merely speaking, you are aligning. You are tuning your frequency, like a radio dial, to a different state of consciousness. Imagine your mind as a lake. On the surface, there are ripples, thoughts, worries, memories, emotions. Chanting is like a gentle wine that gradually stills the water, allowing you to see the bottom clearly. What you find at the bottom is not just peace, it is your true self, beyond all illusions. Let's go back to the historical roots. Master Lianchi was a great Buddhist scholar and mind during the Ming Dynasty. He was deeply concerned with the purity of practice and the misunderstandings that had crept into the Buddhist community. In his writings, he clarified that chanting the Buddha's name is not about seeking favors, begging for miracles, or bargaining with the divine. Rather, it is a method to stabilize the wandering mind, to cultivate deep faith, and to anchor one's awareness in the field of the pure line, the realm not just of the afterlife, but of inner clarity and spiritual radiance. Lianchi taught that the act of chanting is not separate from meditation. It is meditation. It is a method of single-pointed concentration, where the voice, the breath, and the mind merge into unity. You may wonder, why the name of Amitabha Buddha specifically? Amitabha means infinite light and infinite life. These are not just poetic attributes. They represent the awakened qualities within you, the luminous awareness that sees without judgment, and the indestructible presence that endures beyond death. So when you chant Namo Amitabha or Chmithuba, you are not calling on a deity in the sky. You are invoking the awakened nature within your own heart. Each repetition is a reminder, I am light, am life, am already what I seek. Now, let's explore the psychological and energetic power of repetition. Modern neuroscience confirms that repetition creates neural pathways. When you repeat a word, a thought, or a sound with intention, you literally reshape your brain. You override old patterns of fear, doubt, and craving. You install a new operating system, one rooted in clarity, compassion, and presence. This is why chanting works. Rewires the mind. It silences inner chaos. It harmonizes your breath, your heart, and your spirit. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, it transforms your life. Let me tell you a story. A man once came to a temple, overwhelmed by grief after losing his wife. He had never practiced Buddhism before, but in desperation, he asked the monk, "What can I do to feel peace again?" The monk handed him a mall and a string of prayer beads and said, "Chant the name of Amitabha Buddha, and do it with your whole heart." The man was skeptical, but he did it. At first, it felt mechanical, But over time, something shifted. His thoughts slowed. His pain softened. He began to feel her presence, not as a ghost, but as a warm, wordless awareness. He came to understand that love never dies, it simply changes form. Through chanting, he healed. That's not superstition. That's the power of presence. When you chant with sincerity, you enter the field of the sacred, not because a god appears, but because your own essence awakens. And let's be clear, chanting does not require belief in a doctrine, only requires sincerity. You don't need to understand Sanskrit or Pali. You don't need to believe in rebirth or karma. You only need to show up with your voice, your breath, your longing for truth. Let's talk about how to begin this practice. Start with a quiet space. Sit comfortably. Hold a mala if you like, or place your hands gently in your lap. Take a few deep breaths and begin to chant Shmathibo, Amitabhas, Amitabhas. Unparach. Let the sound rise and fade naturally. Allow each repetition to be a door into silence, into stillness, into surrender. You may notice thoughts arise. It's okay. Return to the name. You may feel emotions stir. It's okay. Let it flow. You may feel nothing. It's okay to keep going. Because chanting is not about feeling a certain way. It's about showing up, again and again, with humility and grace. Over time, you'll find that chanting becomes more than a practice, it becomes a refuge. In the middle of stress, you can chant. In the midst of joy, you can chant. While walking, cooking, driving, you can chant. And each time, you return, remember, reconnect. Astral Dankai reminds us that the deepest truth is already within us. Chanting is simply the reminder, echo, the call that brings you back to center. And in that center, there is no fear. There is no separation. There is only awareness, vast, loving, free. So the next time someone says, "Why chant?" you can smile and say, "Because it reminds me of who I am." Thank you so much for watching this video. If this teaching touched you, please share your experience in the comments below. Whether you're new to chanting or have been practicing for years, your story could light the path for someone else. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and support this channel if you believe in the power of awakened living. Together, let's keep the flame of truth alive. See you in the next video.